So, Chris, after hours for episode 7.
Yeah.
It's about a week later. We have just listened to the final episode. And one thing just before we start, because obviously we had our little production meeting before this.
That's right.
And this isn't just an after hours. Obviously, we've decided it is an extended after hours.
It is big news. Dun, dun, dun. Or rather, this is a cool thing. It's going to be different.
Yeah. So I think what we'll do is we'll have the first 5 minutes of this after hours after the episode, and then kind of like fade out, and then we'll say something on the lines of, to hear the rest of this after hours, tune in next week, and point at people. Yeah,
but I think it's the right call, because actually, you know this, we've found quite a lot of, every time we've been doing the after hours, we've been cutting it down and what we should talk about. And this conversation between me and you is a massive part of how we craft the episode. So I don't want to have to just kind of rattle through bullet points and do everything like that. I think this stuff's worth getting into a little bit longer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we normally talk for quite some time about various bits about each episode. So, I think so. If we release the episode 1 week, so let's say episode 7, and then we release episode 7A, 7AH the following week. Okay, so that's the problem.
Hours.
What do we call it? Because how do we number them if it's episode 7 but it's not episode 8? Right.
Well, it's episode 7 after hours.
Yes. Okay. Yes. 7AH. Fine. Okay. We've solved that problem. Excellent. Very good. Very good.
If only every problem could be solved literally like that. Well, we do this. Well, let's do that then. Fine.
So quickly. But about the episode itself, then episode 7, how did you find it on the first hearing, I suppose?
It was just really nice to kind of sink our teeth into some wine. Sure. I thought 2 of them at least were really good. No prizes for guessing which one I didn't think was very good. But actually that was borne out. So, I always say like how we do these tastings and I try and finish the drinks. I don't like wasting things, but if I've liked it, why wouldn't I want to finish them? But
we also wouldn't want to like finish 3 bottles of wine, even NoLo stuff. I mean, that's like over 2 litres of liquid.
It's quite a lot. And actually, you talked a lot about how it has to be sippable anyway, and they were quite sippable.
You'd be there all day, wouldn't you? Yeah,
it's a long 2 litres. Yeah. No, it was more that that Kylie one I was really taken with, and. Was it that day or it was the day after. I had my mum coming over for dinner and we all sat down and I said, look, we got this and I really rate it. I really like it. And everyone around the table liked it a lot as well. So that got finished up very happily.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And you know what? It really made me think that it is worth that money. We had a little debate in the episode about that, didn't we? About is it worth... What is it, a third more than Noseko?
Well, it's 50% more because it's a third less, which is 50% more. But that's fine, that's maths. That's
You've heard my maths skills before.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like a Noseko definitely has its place, and it's a really good drink. Totally stand by that. But this one just felt a little bit different. It had a different kind of feel to it. Being a rosé, having those kind of, the green tea, the tannins and stuff. It landed a bit differently, and it made me think, it's a bit special. It's a bit different. Maybe not every day would I have it, but I don't know. What did you think about the Kylie? Before I move on, what do you think?
It was good. At the end of the day, £6 isn't expensive, or 5 or whatever it is. It's just that it's got a competitor that's a lot cheaper. So I would happily drink it again, like we said. So yeah.
Did you finish it up?
Yeah, I think Kim did that evening actually, because obviously being sparkling, it doesn't really last that much longer. Although actually, did it retain its carbonation for you then 2 days later?
It did. I put a stopper in.
Okay, yeah.
Not a cork, like a kind of, a rubber stopper. And then I set the table. So this is the following night. I set the table. We had recorded during the day on the Monday, hadn't we? And this is like the Tuesday night or early evening. And I'd set the table and it suddenly popped itself. Out of the fridge, suddenly popped itself. Possibly as it warmed up very slightly in the room.
Right.
So there's definitely still fizz there. And when we came to drink it, definitely still fizzy.
Yeah, cool. Okay. That's quite impressive, actually. That's pretty good going. So the other wines, so the Noseko one, basically, it's been drunk because Kim had a glass or two over the, sort of each night across the week.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, she said it's fine. It's not actively unpleasant. So she just wanted like a glass of something to wind down with in the evening. And yeah, it was there. So why not? So
it's there, it's open. I can see that, if you find it fine. I mean, I suppose we've always said that, nothing we say is definitive. It is just our view. But I will offer one counterpoint to that. In that about a week after we did the review, actually just less because it was a Sunday, we went round to my partner Claire's families. We had a big get together, and we really enjoyed the Sauvignon Blanc. We had some of that left, and I took that over, and quite a few of us enjoyed that. I could not give the Merlot away. Couldn't give it away. No one liked it at all, and I didn't like it, so I brought it back again. I mean, it's gone down a little bit because everyone was having a kind of little taste. They were going in. They were pretty pessimistic about how it's going to be. So maybe they needed to listen to your kind of priming preamble thing of how to approach it. I don't know. Maybe it would have helped them. I couldn't convince them, partly because I suppose I wasn't convinced.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense, definitely.
So I've still got it. Don't give it away. But yeah, it was kind of interesting getting into looking at those different wines, because it did then make me think about how we had done that episode a bit different, being being a kind of special on it. It's quite nice actually, isn't it? Like theming the episode. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, very
having
much.
One thing that kind of ties it together. We'd always picked, different drinks, either they were interesting or we kind of had them, or, we thought that might balance out and all of that. But I really I don't know. I liked the different approach of us just going, right, this is something we're just going to tune into, just this for this episode. I liked it.
Yeah, I think I did. And certainly kind of like it made sort of scripting it a lot easier. The only kind of thoughts I had about it were, it was quite an expensive week.
That's true.
It was quite an expensive episode just because, we were buying 3 bottles of wine.
Yeah.
And so just purely from a kind of logistical space, there's that. But also...
Actually, even when you proposed it as an episode, you said, is that okay? Because it's going to get quite pricey. It's like, look, mate, it's not the price. It's... do we want to theme things? And actually, I'm glad we did. And, price be damned. Got money coming out my ears, apparently. No, it was worth it. 2 of those wines were very good, and I was happy to buy it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think the other thing I was thinking about as well was that if people who are listening who don't really like wine, then they could just skip the episode basically, because obviously with all the other episodes we've done kind of a real mixture of things. We've done the sort of fruity drinks, and we've done 1 or 2 wines before, and we've done the beer and that. But actually, I think it's kind of fine. I think we can do the occasional special, maybe not every week where it's the same kind of drink.
Yes,
but
yeah. No, I think the days of kind of Alan Partridge going, we're losing the audience, got to appeal to everybody. Don't worry about it. It's fine. If you like what we're doing, then get involved. But I think generally we have done it pretty broad, and like you say, it was just nice to kind of tune in on a thing and go, this is the angle we're going to take on this, because. Particularly when you started getting into your preamble about how we got to think of it a little bit differently. And we've always, flirted with that idea or skirted around that idea. But there's something in it, and it was worth getting into.
That is why I wanted to do the preamble, because wines, they're not like beers and ciders, are they? In terms of... like lagers in particular, I don't know how many times have we said this, like NoLo lagers taste really quite like standard lagers.
That's it.
And the ciders do, wines don't. And so you've really got to kind of go in with the right kind of mindset, which is why I wanted to do that preamble and just basically say, look, manage your expectations, because don't expect it to taste like a wine. And rather than judging it on one criterion, which is, does it taste like wine? Because all NoLo wine that I've ever tried would not hit that bar.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So rather than that, it's kind of like, okay, let's break down what we do want there. So that kind of preamble, honestly, I think it's something you don't really hear that much, or I've not heard that much sort of out there.
Well, it's kind of a tricky one, isn't it? Because I know you say it in the episode where you're going, you know, I'm not telling anyone how to drink, but this is how I do it.
Yes.
Because that's the point, isn't it? Like, I think it does have to be approached in a certain way.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be like one of those awful waiters who kind of gives you your food and go, well, to get the most out of this dinner, chef says to eat it in this order or whatever.
Sure.
It's just that's not who we are. It's not what we're about. But also,
no, of course,
it doesn't
we've all said
work.
that.
I don't think it works. You know, you'd rightly push back on that. So I think you handled it in quite a good way. Actually, it's a tricky one, man. Definitely tricky.
No, it is tricky, and I just kind of, when I see reviews online of any NoLo drinks, really, even the good ones, you get so many people are kind of saying, "Oh, it didn't taste anything like, you know, Stella or whatever," or, you know, it didn't taste like wine or that kind of thing. And yeah, that's fine, it doesn't. But obviously, these people.
I even saw one where someone was going, "Well, how can Guinness get Guinness Zero so right, but this wine be so wrong?"
Yeah, sure.
It's a very different beast, and you know, granted, Guinness has done a really good job. But it's a very different beast, and it was worth kind of just addressing that up front, I think.
Yeah, and also the reasons why. It's not as if, like, you know, McGuigan have been really lazy at not making it taste, you know, exactly like their standard wines. It's because it's a lot harder, harder for whatever reasons.
Well, and quite a few reasons. That's the thing, quite a few of them. So it's nice to have those sort of spelled out a little bit. And I don't mean in the hectoring kind of way. It's like, it is this reason, and all these reasons, you must like it. No, it's just, I think it is valid. I certainly learned a lot about the process and all that. You know, I don't read through your notes ahead of these episodes, so I don't know what you're going to come out of. I'm genuinely learning it. And, you know, what other measure can we have other than like, I'm finding this interesting and engaging, and we just hope other people do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, talking about the script, I did have to cut bits out because, I mean, it was already quite a lengthy episode by our normal
longest,
standards.
I think, isn't it?
I think it probably is, actually, yes.
Yeah.
Another reason to take After Hours into a separate episode, because we'd be here for like 2 hours.
It's like the stars have aligned. We'd kind of half decided to do it anyway, and now
we did.
And now we have to because the episode's quite long.
Yes. But because it wasn't in the script, I just want to tell you about what I cut out, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and that's basically, the main bit was a bit of the history of NoLo wine, but specifically the techniques. So like vacuum distillation, right? Actually dates back to 1907 when it was invented by Dr. Carl Jung.
The Carl Jung.
No, somebody entirely different. Who, by the way, Carl Jung was also around and famous in 1907. Obviously, you know, we're talking about Sigmund Freud's busy mate, but no, this was a different Dr. Carl Jung, right?
I mean, it's almost like nominative determinism, isn't it? It's like you get the same name as this other guy. Like, I better do something noteworthy.
Well, absolutely.
I like booze, or rather, I don't like booze. I don't know.
Well, so his family, right? The German Dr. Carl Jung, not the Swiss one, the one that we're talking about here. So his family had a winery, right? But he kind of compounds this confusion by, so he invents vacuum distillation. He like patents it. Great, no problem. Then he changes the name of the family winery to the Carl Jung Winery.
I bet he does. Cashing in.
Like, what are you doing, bud? Right, the psychiatrist Carl Jung was very famous at this point.
Yeah,
like,
well,
really,
that's why
really
he changed
famous.
it then, isn't it?
But it's like, you know, if you happen to be called Richard Dawkins, right? Not the real Richard Dawkins, but you happen to be called Richard Dawkins and you wanted to start a brewery, you wouldn't call it the Richard Dawkins Brewery.
But also, did it become like a NoLo brewery? Because then the original, I'm going to say, the famous Carl Jung might have something to say about that, about how that reflects on his philosophy. Going, hang on a minute, this doesn't tie into my ideas about anything. I don't know.
I mean, still like so nowadays the Carl Jung Winery, just does NoLo stuff. And I went on the website earlier on, and I think it's all zero wine as well. And you can get hold of it, but only kind of online. But I just thought it was a bit weird, really. How you
that got cut. I can't believe you cut that.
No, I know. But like, So there was that. I think the other thing as well, I didn't really kind of cut this. I just kind of thought about it. It occurred to me afterwards. Yeah. Was when we were talking about the Kylie drink, the rosé thing, and how weird is it, right, that Kylie has got a range of wines? Because clearly she has nothing to do with the process of winemaking.
No, so actually I've got two thoughts on this, right?
Yeah.
So I did a bit of research on that wine as well, and I found that the company that she's team up with quite a lot of other celebs as well.
Yes, that's right.
So
yes.
they just love a team up, and I don't think that the celeb has to have any link to NoLo's, any particularly like vested interest, or I don't know, like literally just like, who can we get that might sell loads of these wines, NoLo's as well as standard wines.
I think the
just
other ones I think the other ones are mostly standard wines, but one of them's Graham Norton, right? That's the same company. Right. So the company's called Benchmark Drinks.
Yeah, that's it.
And they're a UK company. And Graham Norton, I remember seeing those in the supermarket, and I remember seeing it and thinking, oh, does he own a winery, perhaps in Italy? Why has he got his name on it? I didn't think, well, it's some sort of bizarre kind of promotional.
Because they do one with Gordon Ramsay, and you think, well, that ties in some way, and you think, oh, okay, I can totally buy that he knows about wine, he's into wine, or is producing it. But I don't look at Graham Norton and ever think, there's a man who knows wine and should therefore be producing. And likewise with Kylie, you're completely right.
Yeah, but also Gary Barlow, right, has a range of wines, famously a wine connoisseur. He's a professor of enology. No, maybe if it was like themed pianos, that would kind of make sense for Gary Barlow. Or like the other person, the other celebrity who has a deal is Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, see, I read up on this.
Yes.
And this is to me, this feels like a massive marketing stretch, what they've done. So her wine is called like X, right?
In the city? Or
No, because she signs her Twitters SJP. No, X, SJP.
Oh, wow, okay.
And you kind of think, okay, right?
You have to know a lot in order for this to make any sense, basically. Give me the backstory.
And it's quite an obscure little... Why not just call it SJP?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But no, we're going to do X, but not the next bit. I don't know. I just thought it was a real stretch. Weird. Someone's come up with that and gone, brilliant. I've got a concept. It's brilliant. It's a marketing bod. And they've all been really excited about it. And in the real world, people like me and you just look at it and go, huh?
What? Why? What? How?
Doesn't work for me. But, I kind of get it, but it just doesn't really work for me.
Yeah, so as I said, so most of those are not NoLo. There are some wines. They're standard wines basically. But I wonder if that's like an idea for a future episode. If there are kind of other celebrity NoLo drinks out there, because obviously we've got Kylie, definitely.
Yeah,
and we've got a Spider-Man actor. What's his face?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Yep. So he's got
not the rest is history. Historian.
Yes, not him.
Actor.
But no, he's got a beer brand, and it's called right. It's spelled Bero. So I don't know. Is that Bero or is it Bero? It's Bero. So because obviously like that's hero or Nero. So is that Bero? Is that really Bero? Right.
It's got to be. Isn't it? Grab yourself a Bero. Is probably
it is.
Where
It's Australian. It's like, oi, Davo, what are you doing this Arvo? You want a Bero?
I mean, I didn't know it was called that. I knew he had one out there, but only because it came up in some research earlier. I've never come across it in real life. So these like celebrity endorsements, I don't know. They just utterly passed me by. So it's quite weird.
Yeah, so that Bero or however it's pronounced. I mean, and it's quite big in the US because that's where it's brewed. And in the UK, you can get it online, but I've not seen it anywhere else. But I don't know, maybe there's a scope for an episode here if there's more than 2 celebrity-endorsed NoLo drinks. Otherwise, it's going to be quite a short episode.
It would be, actually. But actually, yeah, why not? Because I think there's definitely something in it. This idea of why they're involved and have they brought anything to it that matters, that is distinct, that adds something to it, or is it literally just that's match any old famous face to this product to see if it sells more. I mean, that's the cynical view.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between the Kylie one and the Tom Holland one is that Tom Holland doesn't actually have his name on the can.
Right.
As well. So it's almost like it is celebrity endorsed, but in such a subtle way that you could easily not know it. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. It's weird. So maybe weird. That is more of a labour of love. Maybe he is more involved. I don't know. Again, that's something we can research.
Actually, but there was something else I wanted to say about this, because actually how you got onto that was talking about bits that got cut from the episode.
Yeah.
And you cut something that I said during the recording of it. When I introduced that Kylie wine, I said it's from a certain Australian pop princess who was the subject of my first crush in 1988, and that I still fancy her. And you cut that. I can't believe it.
In my defence, I cut it because you flubbed the line slightly.
Oh man!
And then you kind of went back to correct it, but it just sounded so weird when I tried to stitch it back together again in the post. And I put several minutes into trying to save it, and I just couldn't. So you've said it now.
Well, I've said it now, so I'm hoping that Kylie is listening to the After Hours. I mean, it should have been in the main episode right up front.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Kylie, it's true. It's true. Just so you know, it's true.
So I think that's all I've got to say about that episode. I don't know about you.
No, that's basically it, really. Like I say, I like the idea of doing different specials and theming the episodes perhaps a little bit more tight as we go forward.
Yeah,
we're definitely,
sure.
I think we're going to come back with some other specials. We're going to dream up some specials, because it is an interesting thing just tuning in on one aspect of it. So, yeah. Yeah,
no, absolutely. So, another thing that happened since we last spoke is that I had some feedback from a mate of mine who has kind of pointed out that, we're kind of asking suppliers to send us drinks, but we don't necessarily state when we're tasting a drink whether or not we've bought it or not. And obviously, as you know, we have bought all of our drinks so far, except for, I think, one of your mates gave us that Crodino. But she doesn't work for Crodino, as far as you know.
No, she's not involved in the drinks industry or anything like that. She's literally just my mate. No, so that's a fair point. I mean, we haven't always said I bought this at this price. It's like it's been available for that. I suppose I just thought it was a bit implicit, but you're right. We're putting it out to producers, and we're hoping that they will send us stuff, which they haven't yet. Yeah. It's a good distinction to make.
But I think, we've always got to be extremely explicit that whenever we receive anything for free for the purposes of review or tasting, we absolutely state it, because we haven't needed to so far, because we've bought it all, as we've said.
Yeah.
So, I think it's something we just need to kind of bear in mind, really.
Yeah, I really hate it when you see anything on social media and it's like an advert. They're endorsing some product,
sure.
but they don't say. It's massively disingenuous. It's not who I am. It's not who you are. It's just not the approach you're going to do. So, fair point. I won't ask you who the mate is, though.
My lips are sealed.
Yeah. Okay, so there's one last thing I wanted to kind of bring up, actually.
Okay.
And it's not from this episode we just listened to. Was it episode 5, I think? We did a review or a tasting of Crodino.
Yeah,
do you remember?
yeah. Yes.
Anyway, we said at the time that there is this spritz version. We said in the after hours there's a spritz version, and we would need to kind of revisit it, as it were. Well, I found it. I found something.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Yes, because I knew you could get it in the UK, like in Waitrose, but I don't have a Waitrose near me, so I was kind of writing it off as an idea.
And I don't shop in Waitrose. Just going to put that out there. No, I was in Sainsbury's, and I spotted it, so I picked it up, and I tried it today. Now,
so is it different or is it the same?
It is a bit different, actually.
Okay.
It is a bit different, but only kind of slightly, and it's different, I think, in a pretty good way.
Yes.
So, okay, it's the same stuff. Like, think of it as the same stuff with spritz, so with fizzy water in.
So it's a little bit weaker and fizzier than
that's
the one
the thing.
that we had.
It's only a bit weaker. It's not massively watered down. It's a little bit weaker. Because of that, I thought actually it tasted a bit sweeter.
Okay.
So it's got to have more sugar in it.
Yeah.
But I looked it up, the new one, the Spritz, has 4.4 grams of sugar compared to 15 grams of sugar in the original one.
But that's a massive difference.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
But the Spritz, which only has, like a third of the sugar, tasted sweeter to me. So I looked at it, and it's got quite a lot of stevia in it, the kind of artificial sweetener.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I don't think it's a problem or anything like that. It was just that was one of my first thoughts about it.
I wonder if that's got to do with the sugar tax in the UK, because there is a tax on levels of sugar in fizzy drinks above a certain amount. And I don't know what that amount is, but that would explain maybe, because obviously the one that we had was imported. Essentially from Italy, but via Amazon or whatever, and obviously this one's the UK one. So I wonder if that's the reason why.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, I really don't know on that stuff at all, but
no.
I also wondered if it's a genuine kind of sweetness thing, or if perhaps I'm just more susceptible to stevia. I taste that more in the mix than I do actual sugar. I don't know.
Maybe. No, it could well be. I mean, all of these artificial sweeteners, like gram for gram, they're a lot sweeter than sugar is. Yeah, definitely. So, and like you say, people's tastes are individual. So, it's very possible that that's the case.
But I don't want to kind of paint the wrong picture, because actually it doesn't come across as a sugary fizzy pop drink.
Okay, yeah.
It still totally feels like a kind of grown-up adult drink, just very slightly sweeter than the other one. And we've just been talking about how you drink in a slightly different way. Being a bit watered down, I did find myself kind of drinking it a little bit freer and easier, because it's not quite as strong. It's not like a spirit, effectively, of what the Crodino itself is, the more concentrated version. So it feels like a grown-up drink. It's slightly different, but the taste is absolutely the same sort of taste. It's definitely the same product. Weirdly, my big issue with it was that the bottle's too small. It's 17.5 centilitres, so it's... Or
175 mil, as we say, generally speaking.
Well, 175 mil, yes, fair enough. But that's what it says on the bottle, which is why I wrote it down like that. It feels like you should get more.
I mean, that's not a lot. I mean, that's just over half a normal kind of drinks can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
It should have been at least 20, maybe 25 or something. I don't know. It just didn't feel like it was... I had it, and it's gone.
How much was it then?
So I got it for £6 in Sainsbury's, which...
For how many?
For 4.
Okay, yeah.
But I looked online today just to check these prices, and it said that's down from £9. I'm not sure I would have spent £9 on it.
£9? It's like £2.25 per...
Quite a bit.
It's quite a lot.
Waitrose lists it at £8. Okay. Tesco's has it at £4.25. So that's pretty good.
Okay. That's a very big price difference. That's a bit weird.
Isn't it?
Was that on offer? Was that like a club card price or something?
I think it's a club card price, but it seemed to be the general price. But maybe as a fairly new product, they're trying to kind of attract people to it. I don't know. I think I paid £6 for the 4. And actually at that price, I really like it. It is starting to push up to feel expensive, because you just don't get that much. It feels like it should be a longer drink than it was in the glass, which is a bit of a shame. But a good product, and a nice drink. Not worthy of its own tasting, I don't think. But I'm glad that I've got the different version. And I think it really stands up.
So it's not sufficiently different that we need to kind of, do like a tasting between the two of us for like 15 minutes or anything.
No, other than we'll be going in knowing we're having a nice drink.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, cool. So we won't do another tasting for Crodino. That's all right.
I don't think we need to. It's nice to address it, and I'm glad that I got it. I'll probably get it again. If we did, it would be a thumbs up, because it's basically Crodino, and it's not that watered down. It's just not that different, and it's much, much easier to get hold of. So kind of think of the two as being very similar.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, well, that sounds good. So I think that's all I have to say for this After Hours. How about you?
Yeah, I think so too, actually. You know what? For being worried about if we had enough stuff to get into a longer episode. We got into quite a lot there. So
we
kind of worked quite well.
Cool. All right. Well, on to the next episode.
That's it, mate. All right. Nice one. See
Cheers.
you later, mate.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.